Toxic Life beat depression. It's day 864, and we're back for more with another somatic healing session to wipe out depression. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here now. Anyone who's tuning in later, appreciate you guys and girls out there. As you know, it is a martial arts for mental health show, and we like to focus in on those mental health tools first. So, first and foremost, we start out every single show with that powerful mental health tool of gratitude, and today, there's plenty of places for me to direct my gratitude to. First and foremost, I want to dedicate my first piece of gratitude for today's session to the Hope to Courage movement. We are currently in day 3 of the 21 days of gratitude that has been put together by the Hope to Courage movement and through Zentai Martial Arts, and so many people coming together, so many different mental health advocates and different practitioners sharing their skills, sharing free tools, helping empower one another. So I am truly grateful to be a part of that movement today. There's number 1 on my gratitude list. Number 2 on my gratitude list is Eurobus, where I am currently located here in beautiful Buena Vista, Colorado, where I have a home. I can stay with my bus as we wait for some engine parts to come in, get this thing back on the road, back in depression fighting action. So I want to shout out gratitude to John and the team out here at Eurobus. I appreciate them. I appreciate the work that he's doing and giving me a place to stay, and also allowing me to get back to my bag, back to my dream machine, and back to my self-care routine that, my gosh, it's the best part of my day. Every day is when I hit that bag and I start building myself up. So gratitude to John, gratitude to Eurobus for providing the space, the tools, and taking on the job to help us get back on the road. That's going to be the end of my gratitude section for today. Go ahead and think about your gratitude section. That'll help put you in that positive moves mindset as we move into today's lesson. Checking in on the comments and who's here. Shout out to Soul Traveler and to Lisa the Luminary and to Joyce Galindo. Thank you so much for being here. And Braces Can Be Scary Claire, thanks so much for being here as well. As always, you are all part of my gratitude section. Everybody who's been supporting the cause, showing up for themselves, showing up for others, and sharing these free mental health tools with one another so that we can find our ways forwards, right? We're all individuals. We got to find the ways that work for us. And the only way we're going to be able to do that is if we talk about it, if we share them, right? Don't let that stigma stop you from sharing your self-care routine or sharing those tools that work for you. It's one of the best things you can do, not only for yourself, but also for your environment. You can improve your environment by motivating and inspiring one another, motivating and inspiring the people around you to improve their lives. You get to have a better life experience. So think about that, even from not a selfless standpoint, but if you'd like to improve your quality of environment, share those tools that work for you, and then you'll have better, happier people to be around. So, that being said, we talked about the gratitude section. Now let's talk about the progress tool. That's the second mental health tool we cover every single show. It's a very powerful one. The more you keep track of it, the more proof you will have of your strength and endurance out there, of what you can do, what you can accomplish, and what you can look forward to accomplishing in the future, what you have accomplished in the past. You can give yourself credit for that strength and endurance by keeping track of it, writing it down somewhere. What is your daily accomplishable goal? If it's this show, that's great because it can build you up both mentally and physically. That's a way to make this list tool even more powerful. But it doesn't even have to be that. It can be a small goal. It can just be an attainable goal, something you do every single day for yourself in the face of anything that is telling you otherwise, in the face of anything that is telling you you can't do that, like the lies that we often feel from anxiety or depression. This is your proof of your strength and endurance. Keep track of it. It also helps you keep a record of how far you've come. For me, it's been 864 days of consecutive training, but it's also been 864 days without suicidal ideation. So going from an emergency room situation where I was in that critical condition and debilitated by depression on heavy medication in therapy, out of all of that, through all of that, and to be able to use what I've been through to fuel my progress out here and build myself up each and every day. This number is crucial. It's crucial to my survival. It's crucial to my continued self-improvement every single day. And every single day I do improve my life at least 10 minutes a time here with you guys, sharing that self-care routine. So keep track of that number. Share it with the world. The more you share it, the more you keep track of it, the more powerful it is. The more you share it, the more you can help improve other people's lives and be that change that you want to see. All right, that being said, we talked about gratitude. We talked about the list tracking tool. Now let's get into today's lesson. Shout out to Master Checo. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for tuning in. And to Orland ETKD, thanks for being here as well. So yesterday we covered Muay Thai stance. I'll give you a quick and easy breakdown of that Muay Thai stance, but I've also posted it up in the stories. Make sure if you are taking this course, if you're taking the 21 days of gratitude and you'd like to improve for the next 21 days and become more and more efficient and more powerful and more capable each and every day, make sure that you're following Sack Life Official, but also that you turn on the notifications for stories and for reels and for live streams. And that way you won't miss a live class, you won't miss the shared routine, and you won't miss those posts in the stories that can help empower you with tools to make this even more effective. Like I said, we share that stance guide in the stories today. Hopefully you guys saw it. Hopefully you're prepared for it. If not, we're going to go over it one more time very briefly right now before we get into the session. So, we're working today. Shout out to Aglamella. Thanks for being here as well. We're working today from balanced Muay Thai stance. We're going to start squaring up with our visualized opponent. Remember, visualize that physical embodiment of the enemy, that physical embodiment of depression. By consciously acknowledging it, we can reinforce that subconscious truth that we are fighting for as we are overcoming that debilitation every single day. We can acknowledge it, give ourselves credit for it, and it works kind of like a positive affirmation. So visualize that physical opponent. It's going to improve your striking technique and also assign it that word of the thing that you're working on, whether it's anxiety or depression. Make it the anxiety dummy or the depression dummy. Square up the hips and the shoulders with your visualized target. Visualize a box on the ground and step forwards, placing the ball of your lead foot in the top corner, ball of the rear foot in the bottom corner, head dead center, nice and balanced. Bend the knees and let the heels raise slightly off the ground. That's going to allow you to rotate nice and easy in your balanced stance. Bring the guard up high by the brow line as if to look through binoculars here. That guard should be high here. In Muay Thai, it's up by the brow line, not by the chin, like in boxing. And close those fingers, tuck the thumbs, non-dominant hand in the front. Make sure that chin is tucked, knees are bent, and you can start moving back and forth on the ball of each foot, shifting that weight from the front to back and developing your flow, your Muay Thai stance, and your rhythm. And that form is going to aid you on all of the strikes, all the tools that we're going to build over the next 21 days. So make sure, practice that form over and over again. Get yourself a mirror so that you can see what you're doing and where you can adjust, and just show up with the goal of improvement. You don't have to get it right. You don't have to get it perfect off the bat. Just show up with the goal to improve every day, and you'll be able to slowly refine that form and make it nice and tight, nice and powerful, nice and effective. That being said, today we're going to be working on the hook. We're going to be developing our hooks, the lead hook and the rear hook. And we're going to develop them in a way that's going to train you to efficiently hit this bag and not injure yourself. This is not going to be the most efficient way for sparring or self-defense. It's going to be the most efficient way to not injure yourself and experience that somatic release you can get from hitting that heavy bag, that same physical release, that physical process and release of trauma, stress, and anxiety that saved my life. You can experience it too. With proper form and technique, you'll be able to hit that bag with full energy, full output, and get the rewards, get the benefits from it. Checking in on comments, shout out to Slayer Ken and If I Can Sparkman. Thanks for being here. Slayer Ken shared his days at 471. Thank you, Ken, for being an inspiration and for sharing your progress out there. All right, so like we said, we talked about, we're going to develop today the hook. So let's break that hook down, and then we're going to get into our standard rounds, 3 minutes, 3 rounds, 1 minute breaks in between to catch your breath. Check in on you, make sure you're not pushing too hard, and make sure you're drinking water. Super important to stay hydrated out there. So, I'll give you those pointers like we did last time as we move along with the lesson, but I'm going to give you the breakdown on the hooks first and foremost. So from your Muay Thai stance, like we practiced before, we step forwards into the jab, right? We developed that jab the other day. We rotate through for the cross. And then for the hook, for the lead hook, we're going to rotate again, and we're going to bring this arm up. We're going to bring it up and out, and like I said, this is developed to start. This is your starting point for the heavy bag. You're going to bring that arm up and out and kind of lock the elbow into a 90-degree position. This is your ideal position when you land that punch to get the best, most efficient transfer of energy, with the least amount of effort, and get the most amount of output. You want that elbow locked in at 90 degrees. You want to bring the hand up and the arm up and visualize kind of like a body cast, like you're putting the arm into a body cast and you can't really move it. We don't want to throw arm punches. Those are not efficient. Those are not powerful. They're just a waste of time and energy. What we want to do is develop that power through rotation through the body. You can face your palm down or in. It's a matter of preference. The important thing here is to make sure you land on the large 2 knuckles. We don't want to land on those small knuckles. We want to keep the wrist straight and in line, right? Knuckles should be in line with the point on that elbow. Keep the wrist nice and straight. So what we're going to do, let's get back into stance. Step into your jab, rotate for your cross. From here, we're going to rotate into throwing our first lead hook. Put that arm up in that body cast, locking the elbow in 90 degrees. Make your fist and tuck that thumb out of the way of damage. Palm down or in, it's a matter of preference. And from here, we're going to rotate on the ball of the front foot and turn through the hips and shoulders. So we're bringing that opposite hand back to defend the head. We're rotating through the ball of the front foot. We're placing the heel of the rear foot back down into a flat position. So let's get back into it. Muay Thai position. Let's start it up. Step in for the jab, rotate for the cross. From here, we're rotating on the ball of the front foot, and we're bringing that arm up to the 90-degree position. Turning the body, turning the hips and shoulders, twisting through. That's where you're going to develop your power. Goal is to land, again, on those large 2 knuckles, get that elbow locked in at the 90-degree ratio, that 90-degree rate, and that's going to give you that powerful transfer of energy, that powerful hook. Knock somebody out, take their lights out, or get that great physical release on the back. When you start moving into sparring and developing that hook, you can change those rules. These rules are more like a fundamental guideline for efficiency, right? So ideally, you want to end in this position in that 90-degree angle. Step to the jab, rotate for the cross, turn, boom, into the hook. So this is my whole body turning through the hips and shoulders, rotate on the ball of that front foot. That's where we develop our power. Now, one small other note, visualize that opponent. We're going to be landing on the side of the head. Go for the temple, or the nose, or the chin. All of those are going to be effective striking targets. Remember, close the fist, squeeze on impact, land on those large 2 knuckles. Back to stance. Let's talk about that hook just a little more. Step in for the jab, the cross. When we rotate for the hook, we're also going to be kind of shifting our weight back. See how we're turning those shoulders? That lead fist that was just in the cross, that lead shoulder is going to rotate back, and we're going to turn through, keeping our body weight nice and centered. So let's break it down one more time. Step for the jab, rotate for cross. Now we're going to rotate on that lead foot, boom, and our torso's coming back. Staying straight up and down. We're not leaning into any of the punches. That's our lead hook. Now I think we should maybe stick with just the lead hook, but I'm going to add the rear hook in here too, just to get you guys prepped. So step for the jab, rotate for the cross, rotate into the lead. We're turning on the ball of the front foot. Now for the rear hook, we're going to turn on the ball of the rear foot as we straighten out the front foot. So we're going to bring this hand back to defend the head. We're going to throw that rear hand up in the body cast, and we're going to turn and rotate on the ball of the rear foot. Boom. Remember, keep the knees bent, sink on those knees, and turn through the body. The body's what's going to give us the power, the rotation through the body, not an arm punch. Don't throw that arm. Rotate the entire body. Same thing. Arm cast here. This is for your fundamentals. This is your core exercise here. And then as you grow with it, you can continue to modify it and enhance it to your own benefit. All right, that being said, we're going to get into it. We're going to start this thing. We'll have the fighting spirit of the 80s going. We're going to get through 3 rounds, 3 minutes each. Have a fun, creative shadow boxing session here. And if you've been sticking with us for the last couple days, mix all those tools that we've already learned. You've got the jab, you've got the cross, you've got level changes. Shh, shh. And now we're going to add in those hooks. Boom, boom, boom. Nice and tight, 90-degree lock on that arm, right? Lock that elbow in 90 degrees. The wrist nice and straight and in line with that elbow. We want it nice and squared. Boom. Turning through the body. Do not throw the arm. Turn the body. Very good, big distinction there. And again, this is for the bag, so you can hit that bag without injuring yourself. Develop tons of power, and it's going to feel great. I'll tell you, today I've been training for 2 hours. It feels amazing. So develop your tools. Put them into that routine you enjoy, and let's get it going. Let's do it right now. Day 864. Let's go. Bang, bang. And we'll try to beat this sunset before it's too late. I hope you guys are ready. And I hope you have thought of what you are grateful for today. We're going to get this work in. Bang. There we go. All right, pop into your Muay Thai stance. Visualize that opponent, and let's get this thing going. Round one. Remember, square up with that visualized target. Guard high by the brow line. Close the fingers, tuck the thumbs, and let's step in for the jab cross. Hush, hush. Starting with the jab cross. Remember, if you're already advanced, use all those tools that you already have in your arsenal and give yourself that creative routine. Just visualize that opponent, and remember what you're fighting against. You're fighting for a better quality of life, and how do you know what you deserve out here? It's based on what you give, so give it 100%. Toss those jabs and crosses. We're gonna start integrating the hook now in 3, 2, 1. Starting with the jab, rotating to the cross. We're gonna add in the first hook from here. Again, throw that hand up, locking the elbow at 90, and we're gonna rotate on the ball of the front foot as we bring this one back. Boom. There it is. Hooks landing right on target, right on the head of that visualized target. Bring the fist back to defend the head. Square up the hips and shoulders, and you're back in stance. Get them with the 1-2. Whoosh, whoosh. 1-2. Whoosh, whoosh. Keep it tight. Keep that defense locked. Turn those fist overs, landing on the large 2 knuckles at the point of impact with a little squeeze in the fist to prevent injury. Back to stance. Let's work that lead hook. Just the lead hook now in isolation. Unless you're already skilled, use all the tools you want. You got 1.5 minutes left. We're gonna start with just the lead hook. So we're just gonna rotate right here from our balance position on the ball of that front foot. Whoosh, and turn through, throwing that arm up into the body cast, locking in at 90, connecting with those knuckles. Rotate back to stance, nice and square. Boom. Throw that arm up into the 90-degree angle. Lock in that elbow, right? Keeping the wrist nice and straight. Turning the fist over and landing on those large 2 knuckles. Back to stance. Toss those 1-2s. Whoosh. Start mixing it up. Working the level changes. Up and down. Have fun with it. Visualize that opponent and visualize knocking those lies right out of that depression dummy's face. Work that hook into the routine. Remember, when you're rotating for the lead hook, we want to come back. Boom. That's going to build even more power. We're using that momentum. Each move's feeding the next move. We're finding that flow in between. Keep your form up. Work that jab and cross. Work those level changes and incorporate the hook. Lead hook first. Whoosh. Boom. Back to stance. Start working on your movement. Get your head movement in there. Roll around. Whoosh. And then turn for that lead hook. Remember, rotating, stay in balance, nice and squared with that opponent after each combo or each strike. You want to return back to your defensive balanced position. Hit them with the 1-2, bop, bop, lead hook, whoosh. There it is, 1-2, bop, bop, lead hook, whoosh. And that's the end of round 1. Catch your breath, drink some water. We're going to incorporate that rear hook next. Shout out to Mira Waite. Thank you so much for your support. Appreciate you and the positive energy put into this world. You're a shining star. Thank you, Mira, for being here. And to Ree Brickman, thanks so much for joining as well. Appreciate you. Nicole Sparkles. Thank you, everybody who's been tuning in and supporting the cause. Today, we're working on those hooks. Like I mentioned before, we want to make sure drinking water, staying hydrated, and pushing to your skill level. I already got in 2 hours of high-intensity training out here, and at this elevation is the equivalent of 4 hours of training on my body, because my body's going through that adaptation and it's in that survival mode. So I essentially did 4 hours of high-intensity training before this. So I'm moderating my skill level, moderate that intensity to meet me where I'm at, and I want you guys to do the same thing. For my advanced students, remember, this is about you making the routine your own. It's your shadowboxing routine. So use all those tools that you've got, everything in your arsenal. All right, back to stance. We're gonna start talking about that rear hook here. So for the rear hook, we wanna rotate through. It's that same kind of end position where we wanna land with that elbow locked at 90 degrees, wrist nice and straight, landing on the large 2 knuckles. But this time it's coming from that rear hand. So what we need to do is move forwards. We're gonna kind of lean forwards into it, putting that bend in the lead, in that lead knee, kind of stepping in to that rear hook. And again, we're turning on the ball of the rear foot, just like we turn for the cross. We're rotating on the ball of that foot, keeping the heel nice and light. But this time, we're putting that arm up into the body cast. Again, this basic form, basic technique is for bag only. It's not really for sparring or self-defense. In those instances, you don't want to throw the arm up way out here because you're exposing your face. You're going to give yourself away. You're going to get popped. So this is not for sparring. This is just for shadow boxing and to build you up, assuming it's day 1 for you or day 3 of that gratitude. 21 days of gratitude. Exhale on those strikes. It'll add more power into them, and it'll activate those core muscles. Super important. Let's get back into the lead hook. We're gonna step forwards and turn through the body, turn through the hips and shoulders. We're still balanced, we're still squared. And from here, we're gonna add in the rear hook. So we're gonna bring this one back to defend the head. Throw the rear hand up in that body cast, locking the arm in at 90 degrees. And now we're gonna put that lead heel down as the foot steps flat. And the rear heel is gonna come up, and we're rotating, boom, on that rear ball of the rear foot, turning through for that powerful hook to the head from the rear hand. Back to stance, hit him with the 1-2, pop, pop. Let's work those hooks in succession. Rotate into the first hook, lead hook. Rotate into the second hook, trail hook right there. Notice the arms going up into the body cast, locking that elbow in at 90, turning through. You can turn the palm in if it's more comfortable for you. The important thing, land on those large 2 knuckles, especially if you're working with the bag. 1, 2, 1, 2. Back to stance. 1, 2, hook, hook. Back to stance. 1, 2, hook, hook. Back to stance. And make it your own. Start mixing it up and tossing those hooks in there creatively. Work on your head movement as well. Stay in your balanced position, never becoming narrow, never getting off balance, and keep visualizing that opponent. You'll start to feel how things link together. We've got our 1, the jab, 2, the cross, 3, the lead hook, and 4, the rear hook. All works very well together, keeping us centered and balanced, flowing in, building that flow routine. It's the end of round 2. Catch your breath, drink some water. You got 55 seconds before we get back into it. We got a fist and a heart from Reed Rickman. Appreciate you. Appreciate the heart punch. Thank you. We've got 42 seconds, like I said. I'll continue breaking down those technicals for anyone who's new. But remember, if you are advanced, you got to make the thing your own, right? If we're going back to basics, fundamentals are always good to drill, but drill them at your level. Drill them to your skill level. Put some spice on them. Mix it up. Put that head movement in there. Start working on rising hooks, sinking hooks, right? Stepping into the hook. Work on that pivot hook. There's so many ways that you can add, so that you can work on that hook and find room for growth and improvement. That's one of the most beautiful things about martial arts, is that you have unlimited room for progress and growth for the rest of your life. You can always get better. Back to stance, Muay Thai position. Visualize your opponent. Tuck the chin. Curl the hips, curl the shoulders. Guard high by the brow line. Hit him with the 1-2. Pop, pop, pop. It's round 3, so just get creative with it here. And work on those hooks. Work on, incorporate them in to your routine. And add in your other skills there. Bam, bam. Doesn't have to be all hands. You can add in checks. Just have fun. And work with that visualized dummy, that visualized depression dummy. Work those hooks in there and challenge yourself. You can work on switching. If you're advanced, switch from southpaw to orthodox. And throw those hooks at different levels, different angles. Bah, 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 bah. Notice that one, like advancing. Bah, bah, bah. Pivot, bang, on that lead foot. Bang, into southpaw hook. If you're starting on day 1, stick with the basics. Rotate through, work on that form, landing in that 90 degree elbow. Rotate the fist, land on large 2 knuckles. Keep that wrist straight, super important. Wrist straight. Boom. See, there's a lot more power when you're rotating through the body as opposed to throwing an arm punch. It's just, arm punches are no good. Let's go. Let's put your whole body into it. Work those hooks. If it's not your first time, see where you can add those hooks in. Think about where you may not have put them before. And push. Let's go. Give yourself a challenge. Push. Keep those punches going. Visualize that target. Exhaling through those strikes. Let's go. Give yourself the challenge. Let's work for what we deserve. Put that effort in. Guard tight. Keep going. And again, if it's your first day, work on that basic hook. Proper form, proper balance. Chin tucked, keep it centered. Balance Muay Thai position. Rotate on the ball of the front foot for the lead hook. Ball of the rear foot for the rear hook. If you're advanced, flow with it. Make it your own. Give yourself that challenge. There's always room for growth. Man, it's the end of round 3. Woo! Gave myself a challenge, even though I already put in my challenge for today. Woo! All right. I hope you guys challenge yourself too. I hope you're having a good time. You're finding room to grow and learn and picking up tools. Today's day 3. We got 18 days left. In our 21 days of gratitude, we're gonna give you something new every single day. For the next 18 days, we're gonna be practicing all the fundamentals. We're gonna mix them in with mental health tools. And it's gonna make you a more effective fighter, make you more effective at self-defense, physical fitness, mental resiliency as number 1. You don't have to wait for the physical benefits of training to experience those mental health benefits of training. The release I felt from that bag that saved my life, I felt on day 1, the first time that I hit it. A weight come off my shoulder unlike anything that I could get from therapy or medication. And I'm hoping to find the other people who need that release as well. Hoping to find the people who it resonates with. All we need to do to create free mental health care for all of the entire world is to support each other. If you can find a way to help spread the word and get the follows, that's literally all we need. We don't need money. We just need follows. And then we can make it free forever. But until next time, I hope that you guys continue to enjoy this routine. And if you are enjoying it, please do share it. Share those tools that work for you. And keep making that progress. That's what it's all about. Show up one day at a time. One step at a time, and you can guarantee yourself those results. You can guarantee yourself you will get better every single day. Until next time, I'll catch you same exact time, same exact channel, same exact life. Sack man out. Woo!